Hi everyone, Ashley Mailloux here with the Daily Racing Forum. We're going to look at my Coast to Coast Pick 5 ticket for Sunday, February 12th. It's another action-packed sequence with all the races in just about an hour, so I personally love that it'll get done pretty quick, and hopefully at the end of the day, we'll have a winning ticket here. We'll kick things off at Gulfstream Park in their race number 8. It's a mile turf events allowance optional claiming competition, and this is for 4-year-olds and upward. I end up actually going 3 deep here. It's such a big field. You'll see it's on 2 screens here. My long shot in the entire sequence is the number 3 Split the Wickets, which I'll admit might be a bit of a stretch. I just thought the class relief was huge. Second start in the barn of Brian Lynch, who's had a tremendous championship meet, and I think this horse can improve. I mean, when you look at the races 3 starts back, I think he'd be competitive at this level. He had an 84 buyer. Also like the number 7, Penner Ash, who was third last time out at Keeneland. And a pretty nice race, a big field there, as well as the number 11, Saratoga Flash, who's 5-2 on the morning line. I just think this one out of the Saffie Joseph Jr. barn is really versatile, can be forwardly placed like we saw last time out in his first start for the outfit, or we've seen in the past that he can close from off of it. So for me, in leg number 1, 3, 7, 11, we'll go to St. Anita Park for their 5th race. It's a 6-furlong turf event, maiden special weight competition, and this is for 3-year-old fillies. I went light here. I used the 1, Woody, as well as the number 8, Foolish. When you look at the 2, I just thought looking at Woody, ran very well on her debut. She was second, looks to have some speed and has that inside draw, and John Velasquez in the irons has done a phenomenal work when teaming up with Bob Baffert. And then the 8, Foolish, who ran a very solid debut, was actually in for a tag, but steps up here, and a similar performance. I think she's got a good chance to win off of that, but even if she improves, I think she should be tough in this spot as well. Back to South Florida for their 9th race. It's a maiden special weight event for 3-year-old fillies, going that 1-turn mile. And I have all faith in here, at least in Todd Pletcher. He sends out 2 runners in here. I'll use both of them, and they were the only 2 horses I used. The 5, Seduction, ran well on debut at that Belmont at Aqueduct meet. It was actually a pretty productive race. 3 horses were next out winners. And I'll also use the Pletcher Barnes first-time starter, Shade, the number 9, who was a $500,000 purchase. And has a decent work tab. They're not super flashy works in general as of late, but in the past has had some pretty nice drills. I think it's good to see Arad Ortiz Jr. take the call on this runner. Back to California for race number 6, another maiden special weight event. So a lot of maiden action in here if that's sort of your thing. 3-year-olds going a mile. I go light in this race as well. I do think, kind of looking at the sequence, the prices is in the first leg and the last leg. So I went lighter here. I do use the 2 favorites, the 1, I Don't Get It, and the 3, Yellow Brick. With the number 1, I thought the debut was decent. You look at the winner of that race, Jazzy, was expected to win, was a huge purchase price, and this horse got an 82 buyer speed figure for that 6.5 furlong event. I think this one will appreciate the added distance. I just think the room for improvement is huge. I thought this one is intriguing. Then the number 3, Yellow Brick, has been chasing in those last 2 efforts some nice runners that were pretty impressive winners. I think the stretch out, it was a good performance from the 6 furlong debut to a mile and a 16th, so a mile, no concerns. Flavian Pratt has the call, and 36% with trainer Richard Mandela. And then we'll wrap things up at Gulfstream Park with a 1-mile turf event, an allowance optional claiming event for 3-year-old fillies. And I did toss the number 6 Candle in here. If I wanted to dig a little deeper in terms of my wallet and my budget, I probably would have used this runner. But I ended up going to the 2, 8, and the 10, the 2 Emma Claire, trained by Mark Cassie. I thought ran okay on debut. It was a decent performance, but to see the maiden score in the second outing, very impressive with an 84 buyer speed figure, gate to wire, drew away very easy. So it'll be interesting to see this one on the turf, but some really solid turf works at Palm Meadows. The 8 has kind of been hyped horse a little bit at Gulfstream Park. Breath Away, this one out of the Christophe Clement barn. Had a nice stalking trip last time out, just a couple of lengths off the pace setters. Was able to win that event at first asking. That was 7.5. Just a straight stretch out to the mile. And then to wrap things up, a price on the outside, the number 10. This one out of the Grand Motion barn. Comes out of the grade 1, Alcibiades. Didn't show anything. That was on the dirt, or actually last 2 efforts were on the dirt. But I thought the debut on the turf, it was pretty good effort. It was sprinting, and just curious to see how this horse is going to handle 2 turns on the turf. So we'll look at my ticket as a whole real quick. Look at that structure. I spread in the first leg and I spread in the last. I think that's where prices, at least live prices, exist. So my ticket ends up being $72 for this Sunday's Coast to Coast Pick 5. Good luck.